KS, the Norwegian Association of Local and Regional Governments, represented by Lise Spikkeland and I, Bjørn Rongve, collaborates with the A4 and AMR. Their work advising communes and municipalities in Romania to achieve good governance is important. Our short video is produced with funding from EA grants. It allows us to join you virtually and to share some of KS work on transparency. Lisa, why is transparency and access to information crucial for good local governance?
Transparency and openness are vital elements in building trust. Local governments can only function effectively if they enjoy trust from their citizens. Elected councillors, administrative staff, and civil servants all have a crucial role in building trust. Transparency is also essential to reduce the risk of corruption. To assess risk or to reveal conflicts of interest, we need open information. To sum up, transparency, openness, and access to information are key factors in promoting good governance.
What is transparency in local government about?
Transparency and open government is about opening up. That's simple. Meetings and decision-making processes, as well as information, documents, and data, making them available for the public. It is about disclosing important aspects of the municipality, of the organization and activities, of the rules, routines, plan, budgets, and results. A crucial aspect, in addition, is citizens need to understand the information given. An open and transparent local government lets the outside world see how it is managed and how decisions are made. It allows citizens and the media to expose malpractice and thus preventing unethical behavior. Citizens' attitudes and expectations with regard to the public governance are changing. Many places there is a growing mistrust. Developing effective, accountable, and transparent institutions at all levels are therefore key components of just and inclusive societies.
Very well. We have in 2 earlier videos spoken about the 12 principles of good governance, good democratic governance. Why are they also relevant to transparency?
Well, first, let me memorize. When the Council of Europe in 2016 adopted the roadmap preventing corruption and promoting public ethics at local level, transparency was one of 6 important topics. Transparency is there described as one of the most important strategies for preventing corruption and promoting public ethics. A useful report was also delivered from the Council of Europe. The roadmap and the reports inspired several European countries to develop their own strategy. Moldova did, for example, develop Handbook on Transparency and Citizens' Participation.
In the Council of Europe's 12 principles, openness and transparency is explicitly addressed in Article 4, which reads, "Decisions are taken and enforced in accordance with rules and regulations. There is public access to all information which is not classified for well-specified reasons as provided by law, such as the protection of privacy or ensuring the fairness of procurement procedures. Information on decisions, implementation of policies and results is made available to the public in such a way as to enable it to effectively follow and contribute to the work of local authority." Romania and Norway are committed and adhere to the Council of Europe's conventions and recommendations. How can such pan-European instruments be helpful in a specific Council of Europe member state?
First, It is useful because it represents a common understanding across political colors and across national borders. It represents a common European standard supported and well anchored across all European states. Then it is a concrete and useful starting point for developing a national framework or a local strategy. An important aim for the Council of Europe is to support local and regional authorities in their efforts to make communities more open, ethical, and citizens-oriented.
How did you make use of the 12 principles in the Norwegian context?
A couple of years ago, KS published a set of recommendations on how local governments best can proceed to prevent unethical behavior and corruption. The aim is to support the Norwegian municipalities and give guidelines for a framework for ethical conduct and anti-corruption measures in the municipalities. We have previously shared these recommendations with ACOR in an English translation. The Norwegian recommendations are based on the Council of Europe's principles of good governance, as well as guidelines and toolkits from the OECD. One of the 9 recommendations is about having an open and transparent local government. In addition to advising on how to design the work and promote ethical conduct, the recommendation points out the relevant Norwegian legal framework. For example, according to Norwegian law, council meetings must be open to the public. I also mentioned the handbook on transparency developed in Moldavia. I deeply recommend to be inspired and copy and paste efforts and activities done by others. Also, Ukraine, Georgia, and others have made a handbook on transparency.
Would you be able to give a very simple case shedding light on the importance of transparency and access to information?
Well, yes. An illustrating case can be when a municipality receives only one bid when tendering. The bid is from a company owned by 2 municipal staff. It is not known that the company owners are municipal staff. The buyer might get into a series of problems such as conflicts of interest or even corruption. The best outcome will be reached when everyone has all relevant information and the procurement is conducted in the open and according to the rules.
Very good. Can you give some keywords if we wish to reflect upon status about transparency in our own municipality?
Well, surely, here are some useful questions you can ask yourself. To give an example about the bid from a company owned by the municipal staff, could this happen in your municipality? And then, which rules, regulations, values, principles in your country or your municipality describe how to practice transparency and openness in meetings, in documents, or decision-making processes? And then third, does your local government facilitate easy access for citizens to records of decisions, administrative practice, as well as services? Maybe a discussion on these questions can be helpful as a starting point.
Thanks a lot for your attention. If you have any questions, please leave them in writing with the staff of the 2 local government associations present, and you will then find answers to these questions on the project's website at a later stage. Thank you so much.